Hello there, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Botox Games. Today we are talking about the Yuka Replayly announcement because this has got the entire internet on fire. People are really going crazy over this Yuka Replayly announcement because at the end of the trailer, it says it is coming to PlayStation 5, PC, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo. Just Nintendo. And on top of that, it seems like one of Nintendo's own marketing managers has gotten caught in the shuffle. Let's talk about it. Alrighty, folks, good Saturday morning. I hope the start to the new weekend is treating you well. So this happened back on, I believe, Thursday. Playtonic announced, or they released this new trailer for the Yooka-Laylee remake or remaster called Yuka Replayly. Very fun name, very cute, very Banjo-Tooie in style, right? But they released this new trailer, and at the end of it, we seemingly have what I would say is our first major Nintendo Switch 2 game announcement, because they're saying it's just coming to Nintendo, and they're being very tongue-in-cheek about this. And I believe we might have a couple other smaller things. I think My Time at Evershine is a Kickstarter that happened. It's a sequel to the My Time at Porsche and Sandrock game. I think they said their intent is to bring it to the next Nintendo console. But this is Sonic Force's level of this game is coming to the Switch 2 or the Switch successor. If you remember back in 2016 when they announced Sonic Forces, they actually had the NX logo in that trailer. This is very similar where you see the Nintendo logo next to the Xbox Series X and X and the PS5 logo as well as PC. But this time it's just Nintendo because we don't have a code name. And also, I mean, they know what they're doing. They literally have these cappy looking eyes hop onto the Nintendo logo. They know what they're doing. This is not a coincidence. They are very purposefully trying to tease with this announcement. Even their tweet here, it says, as well as PC, Yuka Replayly will be on PS5, Xbox Series, and ... Nintendo, with an eye emoji. And these eyes are going to haunt me in my sleep because these eyes are everywhere now. And I mean, this is, I would say, our most major tease from a bigger developer, publisher about a next generation Nintendo game. I mean, Sonic Force is definitely a bigger deal back in 2016, right? But Playtonic is a pretty big dev, obviously, right? They have a close relationship with Nintendo, Yooka-Laylee's on Switch, as well as The Impossible Lair, and a couple of the other games they've published under their Playtonic Friends label. But it wasn't just that. It wasn't just that little tease at the end of the trailer, because one of Nintendo's marketing managers, I believe the marketing manager of Nintendo UK, actually replied to one of the tweets about this announcement with his own eye emoji. And this was very interesting because outside of Furukawa at the investor meeting back in May, I don't believe we've had any Nintendo employee actually acknowledge it or tease or really say anything about the Switch 2 or the Switch successor or really try to drum up any kind of hype. So we have this guy on his personal account, but, you know, the marketing manager of Nintendo UK, we have him kind of going along with the Playtonic tease, putting the eye emoji in there. And what's crazy is he actually deleted the tweets. Now, at first, I was like, okay, well, he just realized, people are insane. People are going to, make, mountains out of this. They're going to make a bunch of news articles saying, hey, this guy tweeted this out. Even if it was supposed to be, an innocuous tweet, he realized probably, hey, I shouldn't tweet this. People are going to go crazy. Now, I'm seeing people speculate, oh, man, did he get fired over this tweet? He locked down his account. I don't think he would have gotten fired over a tweet. I certainly hope he didn't. If he did, Nintendo would chill the hell out. It's not that serious. But I think the likelier scenario here is that he just locked his account because he was getting bombarded with people messaging him, replying to him about it. So he probably just wanted to kind of tone it back a little bit and, not just be out in the open exposed for all the Switch 2 crazies on the internet to, bombard him with questions. I don't think it really means much. However, as we do here, I can't ignore this, as we do our Switch 2 speculation. If he knows something, marketing manager, he would know, right? He would know if it's getting announced in the next couple of weeks, certainly. If he knows something, and he's putting these eye emojis out, that would help our chances of a reveal next week, which is what I have been hoping for and kind of predicting for the past month or so, ever since it didn't get announced in September. My eyes immediately shifted to the final week of October, so October 29th or the 30th. One of those 2 days is what I've been kind of saying, okay, I think if it's getting announced this year, that is the most likely time slot. That wasn't obviously September, as you all know. I'll take the L on that, as I do every video now. It feels like I'm always taking the L. You guys are always making me take L's on this. But but I do think October 29th or the 30th, if it's this year, does make the most sense. And if the marketing manager of Nintendo UK is maybe he knows, right? And he shouldn't have been teasing, and Nintendo told him, hey, delete that tweet. You're not supposed to be teasing anything right now. Maybe that does indicate or suggest that something is coming very, very soon. I think it's worth noting that when the NX was revealed back in 2016, yes, there were rumors like every other day, every couple days, but it wasn't until I believe like 2 days before, maybe even just the night before, that we had Emily Rogers kind of say like, hey, it's happening tomorrow. It wasn't until the day of or the day before that we knew with certainty that the NX or the Switch reveal was actually happening that soon. So I know people are tired of, you know, YouTubers and journalists and everybody saying like, oh, Switch 2 this week, Switch 2 that week. But it's not one of those things where we'll know weeks in advance. It will just happen out of the blue. I don't think any insider is going to say, hey, this is happening weeks in advance. I don't think that's going to happen. So we kind of have to keep our eyes out. But when we have little nuggets of information coming out like this little platonic eye emoji tweeze, when we have the marketing manager at Nintendo UK doing a little eye emoji tease, when we have even Dr. Sirkin Toto, I mentioned, the games industry analyst who tweeted out just the words Switch 2. He has a track record of teasing things in that way. When we have all of these things starting to combine, it is starting to feel like there's actually some smoke for a very near future reveal for this console. Now, I'm saying October 29th or the 30th. I think you guys probably know my stance on this. If it's not announced by November 5th, I don't think it's happening this year. In fact, I would go as far as to say I don't think it's going to happen until like March at that point. If it doesn't happen within the next like 10 days, I really do think we're going to be waiting longer than we want to. I think at that point, Nintendo just slaps out a new Pokemon trailer or a new Metroid trailer. We get our early year game, and then that's it until we get to like, you know, February or March. And that's when they announce it, and then it releases in the holiday of 2025, which I really hope isn't the case. And I still feel like, you know, the absence of a September Direct, the lack of games dated for the early part of the year does suggest to me anyway that we will get the Switch 2 in March or April. I really do think that is the time frame we will see this console release. And if that's the case, we need to see it announced within the next 10 days. Now, I do think it's possible that even if we don't get a reveal next week, we could see it mentioned or referenced at the investor meeting in a way like they did back in April of 2016. If you remember, at their investor meeting that time, they said, hey, the Nintendo NX is releasing March 2017 alongside Zelda NX. At that time, we didn't know the name of Breath of the Wild. That was also where they delayed Breath of the Wild because it was originally slated for 2016. That was also where they said, hey, we're not going to show the NX at E3 this year. So I could see it being like that, maybe, where they just say, hey, guys, the new Switch successor, that's releasing in April or May. Stay tuned for a reveal at the beginning of January. That, I think, is not impossible. So basically just a press release is what I'm saying. However, counterpoint to that is we have a lot of things suggesting that manufacturing has been ramping up since August, based on like shipping data and all that and factory stuff. So if that's true, if manufacturing of this console is ramping up and they're really going to start, you know, making these things, they kind of need to announce it and actually show it sooner than later. Otherwise, it will leak. Actual units will start leaking. We'll actually start seeing what this thing looks like. And I guess that's kind of already happened with the leak from, well, it happened in September. But the leaked unit we saw, I believe, was from October 2023. So it was obviously a much older prototype. Now we're going to start seeing leaks where it could be like the finished product, you know? So if they want to get ahead of that, they need to announce it very soon. If it is true that, you know, production is ramping up and it is true that it's releasing early next year, they would want to announce it within the next, like, I would say 2 weeks. Like, that's the deadline at this point. And if it doesn't happen, like I said, yeah, maybe we don't see it again until March. But I do think, if nothing else, we will probably get some sort of mention from Furukawa at the investor meeting on November 5th, which should be, I think, November 4th at like night for us in America. So we will have to wait and see. I would love to hear what you guys think down in the comments below. What do you think of this whole Yuka Replayly situation? I think it is, you know, my thing is, Playtonic is a pretty big indie publisher, right? They would probably have dev kits at this point for Nintendo's next console. But also, I will say, I think it kind of feels, it almost reeks of a little bit of desperation. It feels like they just need eyes on this trailer. This is their viral marketing ploy to get eyes on a Yuka Replayly, which I'm sure will be a good game. I will play it. I actually never played the original Yooka-Laylees, so I'm interested in doing that. Apparently, they're like fixing a lot of stuff up. It looks pretty good. But it feels like they knew people weren't going to be that interested in it. They know people, you know, if you have a PS5 or an Xbox or a PC, you can already play Yooka-Laylee. And yeah, this new version is going to be better, but I think they're banking on it being a Switch 2 game and that being the exciting part of this and kind of teasing it that way. I think that's how they are. I mean, it's obviously working, right? We're all talking about Yuka Replayly right now. It just feels a little desperate, you know? Am I crazy? Maybe that's a little harsh, but it does read a little bit like, okay, well, they know people aren't going to really care about this that much. This game isn't that old, right? It's like, what, 8 years old? But I would like to hear what you guys think down in the comments below. What do you think about that? What do you think of the Nintendo marketing manager kind of teasing and then deleting his tweets? And when do you think this thing is actually going to be announced? Do you think there is hope for a reveal in the coming days, or do you think we will be waiting a few more months until we actually see the successor to the Nintendo Switch? I would love to hear what you guys think. Of course, subscribe here for more Nintendo Switch news, content coverage, all that fun stuff. You guys were absolutely killing it on my Switch playtest videos. I really appreciate the support over there. If you want me to do another one, kind of updated impressions towards the end of the playtest, maybe I could do that, just to kind of give my final thoughts on it. And of course, subscribe to It's Amiibo, my collecting channel. Posted some great videos over there this past week. And until next time, folks, peace.